Welcome to the deep dive. We take the sources you send us, we dig in, and we try to pull out the real gems. Today, we're going deep on something pretty fundamental, I think. Intimacy in relationships. And, for a lot of people, when you say intimacy, the mind goes straight to, physical stuff. Maybe sex.
Right. That's the common starting point.
But the material we looked at suggests it's just one small part of a much bigger picture, a really human puzzle. So our goal today, to really get what intimacy means, look at all its different shapes, why we actually need it, and maybe most importantly, how actively building it can change things. Not just romance, but like all our connections, friends, family, kids too.
Yeah, it touches everything.
We want to give you a kind of shortcut to understanding this, maybe some surprising facts, definitely some practical ideas. So to kick us off, when you hear that word intimacy, what's the very first thing that pops into your head?
That's a great place to start because, like you said, it's way bigger than that first thought. The word itself, intimacy, comes from Latin. Intimus means inner or innermost.
Innermost. Okay.
Yeah, so it's about closeness, connection, getting to someone's, innermost self. And that kind of deep connection. It's not just for couples. It's vital for friends, family, kids, all those important relationships.
Right.
So, okay, physical intimacy is the obvious one.
Yeah.
But our sources, they map out several key types. First, yes, physical intimacy, and we need to broaden that. Mm-hmm. It's way more than just sex. Think about the everyday things. A spontaneous hug, holding hands when you're walking, a cuddle on the sofa, a quick kiss hello. These small things, the sources really stress this. They build that feeling of closeness, powerful stuff.
Yeah, I think those smaller acts get overlooked sometimes. People focus on the big gestures.
Yeah.
What about sort of the emotional core?
Exactly. The small acts lay the groundwork.
Yeah.
And that leads right into emotional intimacy. This one's often called the bedrock, the foundation of healthy relationships.
Okay.
It's about sharing your deepest stuff, your fears, your joys, what makes you tick, what frustrates you. This is key. Feeling truly safe when you do. Feeling secure, understood, affirmed, cared for.
Not judged.
Definitely not judged. It's that feeling of, okay, I could be totally real here, totally raw, and I'll be met with acceptance. This type.
Yeah.
It's critical in any deep relationship, any of them.
Makes sense.
Then there's intellectual intimacy. This is about sharing minds, ideas, opinions, questions, thoughts. It's not even necessarily about agreeing all the time.
Right.
It's more enjoying the back and forth, challenging each other a bit, genuinely thinking about another perspective. Like, you read a great article and you really get into discussing it, or you debate something you saw in the news.
That shared thinking.
Yeah, that mental exploration together.
Yeah.
That connects you.
So it's not about winning the argument, it's the journey of thinking together. That's a really useful distinction.
Precisely. Then we have experiential intimacy. This is just doing life together.
Simple as that.
Pretty much. Spending time, doing activities, sharing hobbies. Shared experiences are often how relationships start, right? Mm-hmm. And for couples who've been together a while, these moments build up. They create that shared history, that nostalgia, building those remember when stories.
Hearing about experiential intimacy makes me think, I know couples who feel like they just get stuck, just watching TV every night. How do you kind of reignite that shared adventure when life gets so busy?
That's a real challenge.
Yeah.
Routine is comfortable, but it can get stale. The key here isn't necessarily big, grand adventures all the time. It's more about conscious novelty.
Novelty.
Yeah, even small things.
Yeah.
Taking a different route for your usual walk, trying a new recipe together, visiting a park in a different neighborhood. It's about intentionally creating new shared moments, not just falling back on the same old patterns.
Gotcha. Making new memories.
Exactly. And finally, there's spiritual intimacy. Now, this can be about shared religious beliefs, shared practices, but it's broader, too. It could be about core values, life philosophies, even just a shared sense of awe.
Awe, like how?
Like maybe participating in a spiritual practice together, sure, or discussing your deepest values about life, or even just stopping together to watch an amazing sunset. That shared feeling of wonder, connecting on that deeper level of meaning and purpose.
Wow, okay. That's a really helpful breakdown. All those different ingredients. So now we know what intimacy is in all these forms. The big question is why? Why does it matter so much? Why put in the effort?
Well, it might seem like a lot of different areas to focus on, but fundamentally, humans are wired for connection. We're relational beings. The sources are really clear on this. We have this deep, desperate need to feel seen and understood.
Seen and understood.
Yeah. And that craving, especially for emotional intimacy, it comes up for both men and women. When you feel truly seen, whether you're sharing something tough like sadness or anger, or something great like excitement or joy, it gives you this profound sense that you matter, that your feelings are valid.
And that makes you feel worthy.
Exactly. It makes you feel worthy.
Yeah.
And the impact of nurturing all these kinds of intimacy, it's huge for your well-being, for the health of your relationships.
Yeah.
Here's a surprising link from the research. The more emotionally connected you feel, the better your physical intimacy tends to be. It's not just some nice side effect. It actually fuels desire. Research shows a really strong link between greater emotional intimacy and higher sexual desire and activity, especially in long-term relationships.
That's powerful. So emotional depth isn't just like a result of closeness. It actually drives physical closeness.
Precisely. It's a catalyst. And beyond that, couples with more intimacy across the board, they just report being happier, more satisfied with their relationship.
Okay, that makes sense.
But here's where it gets really interesting. There's a solid link to better physical health.
Physical health. How?
Yeah, one study suggested that being in a happy, intimate relationship can boost physical well-being almost as much as diet and exercise.
Wow.
It could even lower the risk of chronic illness and death.
That sounds almost too good to be true. Better health just from a good relationship. Are there limits to that?
Well, it definitely shows how powerful connection is.
Yeah.
I mean, no relationship is a magic bullet, obviously. But the consistent social support, the stress reduction, that feeling of security you get from strong, intimate bonds, it demonstrably helps long-term health.
Right.
Think about it. Close connections fight loneliness. They help us manage stress. Intimacy builds trust over time, right? It helps you understand each other better, support each other emotionally. You navigate life's problems as a team. It makes you feel secure, safe. That contributes to a long, healthy, happy relationship. You feel loved, cared for, supported, heard. You can handle challenges, even conflict, because that foundation is there.
That's incredible. So it's not just feeling good emotionally, it's actually being healthier, more resilient. Okay, this is all clearly vital, but the million-dollar question for a lot of us is how? How do we actually do this? How do we build emotional intimacy if it feels, well, a bit awkward or unnatural?
That's the key, isn't it? It is a skill. It takes conscious effort. It doesn't always just happen. And the core principle, the thing the sources really hammer home, is this. Resist the urge to fix things, or judge, or explain away, or jump in with solutions when someone is just sharing how they feel.
Just listen.
Listen, yes, but it's more active than just passive listening. There's a great technique. Mirror, validate, empathize.
Okay, break that down. Mirror.
Mirroring is literally gently repeating back some of what the person said. Like, so you're feeling really hurt right now.
Just reflecting it back.
Exactly. It shows you're fully tuned in, not just waiting to talk.
Yeah.
It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Then validating. This means communicating that their feelings make sense, that they're understandable from their perspective.
Even if you don't agree.
Especially if you don't see it the same way. It's about letting go of your viewpoint for a moment to truly get theirs. It helps them feel like they're not crazy, that their reaction is valid.
Okay. Mirror, validate, then empathize.
Empathy. This is where you connect with the feeling. You can say things like, wow, that sounds really difficult, if it's pain, or I can totally see how excited you are. If it's joy, it's the opposite of that toxic positivity thing.
Right, the just cheer up approach.
Yeah, or look on the bright side when someone's really hurting. You can't make someone feel better by dismissing their actual feelings. Empathy sits with the feeling.
That mirror, validate, empathize framework sounds really useful, but thinking about people I know, maybe myself sometimes, someone who's naturally a fixer, what's the biggest hurdle for them with this? And how do you even start retraining that impulse?
Oh, that's a huge hurdle. Very common. The biggest challenge is probably the sheer discomfort of just being with someone else's difficult emotion without trying to make it go away.
Just sitting with it.
Exactly. Our instinct is often to relieve suffering, right? But with emotional intimacy, the primary goal isn't fixing, it's witnessing, connecting. How do you retrain it? Well, you start by consciously pausing, taking a breath when someone shares something heavy, reminding yourself internally, my job right now is to listen and understand, not to solve.
Easier said than done, maybe.
For sure. Start small. Practice with lower stakes feelings, maybe minor frustrations rather than deep grief, and build up that muscle. It takes practice. I remember a client example from the sources. A young dad, really struggling, feeling exhausted. He shared this pain with his wife, her response. She shared that she was also sad and exhausted. His first reaction was, oh no, I've just made things worse for her. He felt terrible. But then something shifted. As she shared her pain, he really saw her. He felt empathy. He just held that space for her feelings. They ended up mirroring, validating, empathizing with each other. They didn't magically solve the exhaustion of early parenthood right then, but they felt deeply connected in the struggle. They realized, okay, we're in this together. That's emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
Sharing the raw, vulnerable stuff and meeting it with kindness, compassion, love.
Wow.
And it takes ongoing work. Keeping each other's needs in mind, figuring out what works for your partner. It's not passive. It's more than just sharing a house. It's an active, continuous process.
Daily effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also worth remembering, people connect differently. The sources mentioned this too. For some women, for instance, feeling that emotional connection, that safety and understanding, that's often like a prerequisite for physical intimacy. They need the emotional bond first to really desire the physical closeness.
Okay.
Whereas for some men, sex itself can be a primary pathway to feeling emotionally connected. It's through that physical act that they feel close, validated, bonded.
So different routes to the same goal, potentially.
Could be. And understanding those different needs, talking about them openly, that's crucial for navigating things without misunderstandings or unmet expectations.
That makes so much sense, those different pathways. So what happens if this emotional side, this crucial part, is just ignored, consistently neglected?
Well, unfortunately, the consequences can be pretty devastating. There was that account, that really stark one, of the husband.
Yeah.
He only realized after things fell apart that he'd consistently taken his wife for granted, ignored her emotional needs. He called it a great sin, now facing separation.
Oof.
It's a powerful warning, right? Partners often are wired to need that deep emotional connection. Shouldn't be taken lightly.
Definitely not.
And then there's the flip side. People who struggle with intimacy, avoidance themselves, or seem drawn to partners who dismiss their feelings.
Why does that happen?
Sometimes, the sources suggest, it can link back to childhood. Growing up at a home, maybe with substance issues or just a lot of chaos, where your needs and feelings weren't really seen or met consistently. So a dynamic where feelings get dismissed might feel strangely familiar, even if you consciously know it's not healthy or what you want.
Familiar but not good.
Exactly. The way forward there involves, first, tolerating the discomfort of actually checking in with yourself. What do I really want? What do I need? And then clearly asking for it. Telling your partner, hey, when I share something like this, I need you to just listen and try to understand, not jump in to fix it or explain it away.
Giving them instructions almost.
Yeah, clear instructions can actually be really helpful. But what if your partner just isn't willing or maybe not capable of meeting those needs?
Then what?
Then the focus has to shift. The question becomes, why might I be repeatedly choosing partners who avoid intimacy? It's tough self-reflection. There's a great line, you can't change other people, but you can always change you. It takes discomfort, sure, but it's usually worth it.
Right.
Just saying, that's just the way I am isn't helpful. Our brains can change. We can learn new patterns. It takes work, but it's possible.
That's a challenging thought, but definitely empowering too, that we can change ourselves. Okay, let's broaden out a bit. Beyond these specific types of intimacy, what else did the sources say contributes to a long, happy relationship? And what are the common things that trip couples up, even those with good intentions?
Yeah, beyond nurturing intimacy itself, there are definitely common roadblocks, things that make it hard to stay close or that cause the intimacy to fade, like unresolved conflict. That just builds resentment, anger, erodes trust. Big one. Just overwhelming life stress work, money worries, illness, raising kids. It can squeeze out the space for connection. Communication problems, obviously. Not just arguing, but difficulty even saying how you feel or what you need in a way your partner can hear.
Right.
And sometimes a real fear of intimacy, maybe from past hurts, past traumas, makes it hard to get close even if you want to. Dealing with these things, it can massively boost your chances of relationship success.
Okay, so those are the obstacles. What about the positive strategies? The building blocks for strong bonds? We hear open communication all the time, but what does that really mean in practice?
It's true. Open communication can feel vague. The sources got more specific. It's not just talking, but how you listen, how you respond, picking up on unspoken cues. That's what builds real understanding and cuts down on misfires.
Listening beyond the words.
Exactly. And quality time. Again, it's not just being in the same room, it's making that time count. Being focused, intentional, really engaging during dinner or on a walk, not just passively coexisting while scrolling phones.
Quality over just quantity.
Definitely. And don't underestimate small gestures. A thoughtful little gift, a genuine compliment out of the blue, doing a chore you know they hate. It's not about big, expensive displays. It's the consistent small signals of care that really foster happiness and love.
Those add up.
They really do. Then trust and honesty. Foundational, yes, but the sources emphasized maintaining trust, being reliable, avoiding things that create doubt, actively showing up for each other consistently, and maybe surprisingly important for the long haul, forgiveness. Not ignoring problems, but learning to let go of the smaller mistakes, preventing bitterness from setting in. Allows you to move forward.
Keeps things clean.
Yeah. And to stop things getting stale. Maintain freshness. Consciously try new things together. A weekend trip, a cooking class, a different type of restaurant. Mix it up. Keeps the spark alive.
It helps. Also, show affection and concern. Don't just feel attached. Demonstrate it. Let your partner see you're affected by their struggles. Celebrate their wins with them. Make it visible.
Show, don't just tell. Or feel. Exactly. And mutual respect. Absolutely critical. The sources noted women particularly value partners who respect their opinions, treat them with genuine love and consideration. And just to loop back, remember that balance. Physical intimacy is important for satisfaction, sure. But emotional intimacy is just as vital. A healthy relationship needs and actively cultivates both.
That's a really solid framework for relationship health, thanks. Now, speaking of things that influence how we see relationships, the sources also got into something, well, a bit controversial, a topic that definitely sparks debate and strong feelings about a partner's past. The body count discussion. What did the material uncover there?
Right, this is definitely a sensitive one, and it's important we just lay out the different perspectives found in the sources impartially.
Okay.
So one perspective is that for, say, short-term things, casual relationships, where it's maybe more about physical attraction, a person's number of past partners might not feel very significant, the emotional stakes aren't as high.
Less invest.
Kind of, yeah. So the past might not seem like a big deal in that context. However, when you're talking about long-term relationships, the kind that need deep emotional bonding, trust, then for some people, that history can raise questions.
Questions like what?
Like concerns about someone's ability to commit deeply. Maybe a worry that someone with a lot of casual partners might struggle to build that strong emotional foundation. Or a tendency to compare current partners with past ones. That grass is always greener thing. Someone in the sources even admitted doing that themselves. There's also a viewpoint connecting a high number with potential unresolved emotional issues, or maybe a lack of self-awareness about relationship patterns.
So it's less about the number itself and more about what some people worry it might signal about readiness for deep commitment.
That's one interpretation presented, yes, but then there are strong counter-arguments.
Okay, what are those?
Well, that body count is totally subjective. What one person considers high, another doesn't. And judging someone just on that number is pretty superficial. These sources argue the real indicators of readiness for a committed relationship are things like someone's current mindset, their maturity level, their actual intentions now.
Their present state, not their past tally.
Exactly. They also point out that views on this are massively influenced by culture, society. So judgments often reveal more about the person doing the judging. Ultimately, the consensus across different viewpoints seems to lean towards focusing on the individual's current state, their emotional capacity now, their self-awareness, their stability. Rather than using a number as a kind of shortcut judgment, it's about who they are today and whether their past actually impacts their ability to form a healthy, lasting bond now.
That's a really balanced way to look at a complex issue. Thank you. Wow, what an incredible deep dive into intimacy. It's so much clearer now that it's this incredibly rich, layered thing. Absolutely vital for connection, for well-being. And nurturing it in all its forms, it's definitely an ongoing journey. It takes conscious effort, doesn't it, from everyone involved?
Absolutely. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought, perhaps. A question for you to consider. What intimate connection in your life, maybe physical, emotional, intellectual, experiential, or spiritual, are you intentionally nurturing right now, or perhaps neglecting? And what might be the unspoken cost or the profound reward of that choice?